Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz. Tonight, Arkansans remembered fallen Stone County Sheriff's Deputy Justin Smith at his funeral in Mountain View. Smith was shot and killed while serving an arrest warrant on Tuesday. Family and friends and service members from across the Ozarks paid their final respects. State Senator Missy Irving spoke to the small community coming together to honor Deputy Smith.
So we're a very small, tight-knit, faithful community, and so when we see something such tragic event happen to somebody we love, we care, we know, and we see all the time, so it's been a really tough week for us up here.
52-year-old Clifton Hefton has been charged with capital murder in Smith's death. Over in Conway, police are giving us new information about the death of a man who died while in police custody over the summer. It happened during the arrest of 26-year-old Dietrich Williams on July 17th in Conway. He died a short time later. This week, the prosecuting attorney ruled his death an accident. Conway police also released body cam footage from the incident. While there's nothing disturbing in what we're about to show you, we want to warn you that some of it might be hard to watch. Now, Conway police records say they took Williams into custody after he ran away from officers when they responded to reports of a fight in a parking lot. In the video, you see the officers working to handcuff him. Police concede at this point he told officers he couldn't breathe. The report goes on to say that officers then moved him into the shade while they waited for an ambulance to arrive. Here, the video shows Williams in handcuffs sitting in the shade, surrounded by officers. He's seen a little later being treated by first responders before getting taken to the hospital. The full encounter is on THV11.com. Arkansas State Police investigated Williams' death and Conway's handling of it. The prosecutor took that report and other information and declined to bring charges, calling it an accident caused by a combination of drug use and exertion that triggered complications of Williams' sickle cell disease.
We've seen cloudy conditions across the state today. A nice break from all of the activity we saw yesterday with that taste of winter weather. Now, there were some stray showers mainly across northern portions of the state, but skies overnight will start to clear from west to east as an area of high pressure moves in. Here's a quick check-in of temperatures at the moment, mainly in the lower to middle 50s, 43 right now in the capital city, 45 in Pine Bluff, Camden, a little bit warmer, up to 46 right now, and farther north starting to see more places falling off into the 30s, like Russellville and in Clinton down to 39 right now. Again, as we continue overnight, we're going to see skies clearing from west to east. Unfortunately, the sunshine will be short-lived. We do have some changes coming up and a very active weather week for Central Arkansas, so stay with us. I'll have all you need to know coming up in just a few.
Tonight, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is getting ready to head to Iowa. In a statement, she said in part, quote, "I'm excited to head back to Iowa on Monday to campaign for former President Trump because we need his leadership back in the White House." Governor Sanders plans to land in Iowa Monday, a week before the caucus that marks the first votes of 2024's race for the White House. And it's now been 3 years since riots at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. President Biden, in his first campaign speech of the year, directly criticized former President Trump for his actions on that day. Mr. Trump is the leading GOP candidate, and this year we could see a rematch of the 2020 election, even as the former president faces legal and political challenges related to January 6th. Christian Benavides reports.
For Capitol Police Officer Thomas Lloyd, images of January 6, 2021 still haunt him.
By the end of the day, it was tens of thousands against hundreds of officers.
A sea of rioters stormed the Capitol. Some beat police, calling them traitors. Some chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." In the House chamber, a group of House members were trapped.
They came 10 seconds from getting to us.
A single shot fired by police struck Ashley Babbitt, stopping the surge. Over the course of 3 years, the Justice Department has arrested nearly 1,200 people, securing guilty pleas from more than half. On Saturday, a small gathering outside the Justice Department took place in support of the defendants. This week, President Biden gave a speech meant to remind Americans of Trump's involvement.
It was among the worst derelictions of duty by a president in American history.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
With Trump running to return to the White House, he continues to falsely say there was election fraud, a claim echoed by the rioters, promising to pardon them.
Look at what's happened with the J6 hostages. The hostages, that's a horrible thing.
A new CBS News poll shows while only 30% of Republicans approve of the actions of those who forced their way into the Capitol, most say they support pardons. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
Officials say they're still seeking about 80 defendants who remain fugitives. And on Saturday, the FBI arrested 3 of those fugitives in Florida on charges related to January 6th. Over in Pine Bluff, the school district is looking at making big changes to its calendar, exploring the so-called early start calendar model. In the natural state, districts have the choice of 4 different calendar models: traditional, a 4-day, one based on hours, and year-round, or the early start calendar. That early start is the calendar model Superintendent Jennifer Barbary says Pine Bluff School District is considering.
Staff actually had less attendance issues, and students had less attendance issues. Conversations that our staff have had is that maybe this would help with burnout because they needed to be refreshed.
Nothing is set in stone. The district wants to hear from the community first. Right now, more than 400 responses have come in through their social media survey. If you or anyone in your family is about to start the financial aid process for college, beware of some changes. The new version of the FAFSA is here, and THV 11's Brooke Buckner shows us how it figures to affect families and their finances for the upcoming academic year.
It's estimated that over 600,000 new students will be eligible for financial aid for the 24-25 academic year.
That is one of the main improvements of the new FAFSA, which stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. In addition to increasing the number of eligible students, the process will look a little different too. Dr. Moses Goldman at UAPB says it's a much more simplified form.
It's designed to be more streamlined, less questions. In fact, it's estimated that some people may be able to answer 20, 25, or 26 less questions than they would have had to.
Dr. Goldman, Chancellor of Student Enrollment at UAPB, says these changes are going to have a big impact on incoming students at the university.
Many of them are first-generation college students, or they come from families or backgrounds where that there's not a lot of income, not a lot of wealth, and so they need assistance.
In fact, more than 90% of UAPB students and families receive federal financial assistance.
And so it's a huge help to our student population in terms of aid. Of course, we also supplement that with institutional scholarships.
UCA is also adjusting to the change. Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management, Courtney Bryant, says more improvements are in the works during this soft launch period.
The site is coming down here and there, so that way the Department of Ed can make adjustments as needed.
This on top of the university's new debt-free tuition program, UCA Commitment, will be an added benefit, Bryant says.
Certainly it's going to assist students in decreasing their last dollar amount.
Brooke Buckner, THV 11 News.
The launch of the new FAFSA form online has not been without hiccups. Some have complained about access problems during this soft launch period. But the government reminds everyone that the deadline to file is the end of June, with a priority deadline of March 1st.